Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bet the Over. I'm your host, Kevbo, and in this episode, we're going to be breaking down the first week of preseason against the Minnesota Vikings. So we had a couple of guys who looked exactly how we would hope in the rookie department, and one late round pick who completely surprised me and potentially you guys as well, along with one rookie that might already be looking like he's in the starting lineup coming week one against the Dallas Cowboys. So today I'm ranking every Giants rookie performance from preseason week one, starting with an honorable mention and then working our way up to number one. So going 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Trust me, number one is absolutely deserves to be up top. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, blow up the channel because I'm going to be posting weekly videos along with shorts all throughout training camp, preseason, and the regular season. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Bet the Over. Like I said in the intro, we're going to be getting into the top 5 rookies of preseason week one, starting with an honorable mention. So first rookie I want to shout out is cornerback Colton Hood. I'm going to give every rookie a grade as well. So Colton Hood, I gave a C. We're starting with an honorable mention. I don't necessarily think Hood was terrible, but out of the drafted rookies, I thought he had the most obvious area of improvement. There were multiple reps where Hood was put in difficult situations in coverage, and you can see some of the growing pains that we typically see out of rookie corners because cornerback is one of the most difficult positions to go from college to the NFL. Them NFL wide receivers are different. The speed is different. The tempo is different. The coverage, they're a lot more physical. They're men compared to potential boys at the college level. So overall, we didn't really get that splash play out of Colton Hood. But here's the thing. Like I said, cornerback is the hardest position. And one thing I did like about Hood was he got beat a couple times. He was going up against Addison, who is the wide receiver too on Minnesota Viking, and a good one at that. But he never really became less aggressive because he was giving up a couple plays. He continued to play aggressive, even though he did give up a few catches. He got called for a penalty. I do think that one first down where John Harbaugh challenged early in the game was incomplete, but there weren't too many camera angles because it was the preseason, and I don't think many people cared that much. So I'm definitely not sounding the alarm on Colton Hood. I just think the rookie performance was all right, but there's definitely some more work to do coming up going into the regular season if he wants to fight for a starting job at the CB2 or maybe slot with Drew Phillips. I don't know. But overall, C grade, solid. It's okay. Definitely room for improvement. Next guy on the list, we got offensive tackle J.C. Davis. I gave him a C+. So he's going to be my number 5 pick because this was one of the harder players to grade on this list because the sample size was pretty small. There wasn't a lot of huge moments for J.C. Davis, but sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially for an offensive lineman. If you don't really see them too much or you don't hear their name, that means they're doing a pretty good job. So J.C. Davis is a developmental tackle. I'm not really expecting him to start week one. We have Illuminor on the right. We have Andrew Thomas on the left. We're more hopeful he develops into a starting tackle and takes over that Illuminor position once he phases out of his NFL career. We didn't see Davis get absolutely destroyed or commit some huge mistakes or penalties that made you notice him, but some of the struggle we've seen with Giants offensive line in previous years, J.C. Davis looked like a damn star out there because the Giants offensive line has been terrible. So boring performance, but guess what? We take boring for offensive linemen. He's a 6th round pick. You're not expecting him to come in week one and look like Andrew Thomas, but you're looking for him to survive the play, survive the snaps, show some technique, show some athleticism, and give the coaching staff something to build on, and hopefully he can develop. And I think that's basically what we got. Wasn't enough for me to move him higher than a C+. You could even probably argue a C flat, but solid step, J.C. Davis, C+. Next player we got on our list, we got offensive guard Francis Sisi Mauigoa. I'm going to give him a B. So we're getting into the guys that were very, very good or impressed me at least. Number 4, Sisi Mauigoa. There was one stat I really liked this preseason that I had pulled up. Mauigoa played 30 snaps at right guard. On 15 blocking snaps, he allowed 0 pressure, 0 quarterback hits, and 0 sacks. So that's exactly what you want to see out of your first round offensive guard going in the preseason, especially considering Mauigoa is learning a difficult position. Offensive lineman is another one of those positions where college and the NFL are completely different animals. Think about Evan Neal, who came out of Alabama, who was supposedly this can't miss star prospect. And as we all know, he was one of the biggest busts in, you could even probably argue, NFL history. But there were questions how quickly Mauigoa would adjust to the NFL. And at least from pass protection standpoint, he definitely held up. He did get beat once. And in the run game, he did actually look pretty good. He was moving guys off the line of scrimmage. And that was pretty encouraging because the Minnesota Vikings, there were a couple starters out there. I don't know if it was their full starting defensive line, but there was definitely a couple starters out there. So that's very, very promising seeing him move some guys. There were some reps where you wanted a little bit more, but for your first NFL action, I'm very happy with Sisi Mauigoa. I'm very happy with how he played. And if you're telling me an offensive lineman played 30 snaps and didn't give up a single pressure, you can't argue for anything better than that. So B, I think you could even move it up to a B plus, but we'll stick with the B for right now. Next guy, number 3 on the list. I think this was probably one of the biggest surprise out of everyone on this list, but linebacker Jack Kelly, I'm going to give a B plus. Jack Kelly, the reason I'm giving him a B plus is because he really showed out. I think people should really start paying attention to him because Micah McFadden is only on a 1-year deal. So he's the potential next guy in line if Micah McFadden doesn't get re-signed. And honestly, he looked like a better Micah McFadden out there. He did generate pressure at the middle linebacker or outside linebacker position. I think he was kind of switching. Kelly reportedly generated 2 pressures on only 3 pass rush attempts, which is an insane pressure rate. Obviously, that's not sustainable. He reportedly finished with an 80 flat defensive grade, according to PFF. Now, we have to acknowledge it was only 3 pass rush reps. So I'm not sitting here saying Jack Kelly is the next Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, or Abdul Carter, you could even say. But that's kind of exactly what you want out of a 6th-round pick in his first preseason game. Show you something, any sort of way you can build around him. And I think he definitely showed out. He looked fast. He looked decisive. And you go back to the film, you might say, wait a second, maybe we should give this guy some starting reps potentially in the regular season, especially if there's some sort of injury to that linebacker core. And I like his ability as a blitzer. There are some negatives. He allowed a 7-yard reception and did miss a tackle. He wasn't perfect. Are you expecting a rookie 6th-round pick to be perfect? No. Like I said, you just want to see some potential upside going forward in his NFL career. So we might be onto something. Could be the steal of the draft. Jack Kelly, B plus. Next guy, number 2 on the list, highly anticipated debut, Arvell Reese. We're getting to the big names now. Arvell Reese, I'm giving him an A minus because this is exactly the kind of debut you wanted to see from Reese. He looked fast, he looked decisive, and he looked angry. Arvell Reese plays football very, very mean. He gets to the point where he thinks he diagnoses quickly, he gets there, and whoever's in front of him, he hits them hard. He absolutely flattened a fullback on the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know who it was. But most importantly, Arvell Reese didn't look overwhelmed by NFL speed. You can see how quickly he closes the space when he's downhill. He recorded 2 tackles against the run and 1 defensive stop, and he wasn't targeted in coverage, not even once. So Reese reportedly earned an 88.2 defensive grade. That was the highest grade amongst rookie first-round defenders during preseason week 1, which is very impressive. And which is what excites me the most about Reese is his athleticism and his size. He is ginormous and he moves at crazy speeds and gets to the point of attack very, very quickly. There's no hesitation. He diagnoses what's going on and he just goes for it. He was there fast, and that's why he's at number 2 on my ranking. The reason I don't think I rated him higher is because of the sample size. He didn't play that much. I think he only played two 2 series, maybe even 1, but we should definitely be very excited. It was John Harbaugh and Joe Shane's number 1 player in the draft this past off draft. And if he continues to play like that, he'll definitely be a valuable piece to this defense and in the starting lineup for week 1 against Dallas. Next, number 1. If you haven't guessed it by now, you probably know it is going to be wide receiver Malachi Fields. I'll give him an A. Number 1, the reason I give him an A is because he was my MVP of this game. He had 3 targets, 3 catches, 34 yards, 3 first downs, and a touchdown. So he went 3 for 3, getting a first down on every single catch along with a touchdown. That's basically a perfect night from the rookie. And there's another thing I loved. Fields went 2 for 2 on contested targets, which is, I think, his biggest area where he will help and impact this team. Because when you look at Fields' physicality, that might be one of the biggest assets, like I said, to the team. He doesn't necessarily separate himself like these other guys, like Malik will, like Darnell Mooney will, like probably even Darius Slayton. However, if there's a 50-50 guy I want to get the ball, it's going to be Malachi Fields, because 6'4" against anyone that's below 6 foot is not a fair matchup. That's kind of what happened with this touchdown on Saturday. I think the corner covering him was only 5'9". Dart threw it up high, and guess what? He went up and got it. His size, his catch radius, his ability to win the 50-50 ball, even if it isn't perfectly placed, shows his value to this team. And that becomes especially interesting when you get near the red zone. You don't necessarily need Fields to come out and be this constant guy that's going to get 7 receptions a game for 80 yards. Nope. Use his frame, box guys out like in basketball, and win those 50-50 balls, turn them into 70-30 in your favor. According to PFF data that was posted of the game, Fields finished with a 90.3 offensive grade. That was the highest among Giants rookies, and this is exactly what preseason debut you want out of your wide receiver, especially one that's competing for that wide receiver 2 spot. Every catch matters, every target matters, every special team reps matters. I think he even had a tackle, which is crazy. Hopefully he doesn't play special teams anymore. And when you get 3 opportunities and turn them into 3 catches, 34 yards and a touchdown, you're definitely going to be on the coach's radar. So shout out Malachi Fields, grade A. And final rankings, I'll go through them one last time for you guys. Week 1, honorable mention Colton Hood with a C, JC Davis with a C+, Francis Mauigoa with a B, Jack Kelly with a B+, Arvell Reese with an A-, and Malachi Fields with an A. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of my ratings. Did I miss someone? Do you agree with these? Do you disagree with these? Overall, I think Giants fans should be happy with what we saw on Saturday. Fields continues to make his case. Jack Kelly might be the steal of the entire draft. Mauigoa gave us something to build on and was very encouraging in the run game and didn't get blown up in the pass game. Arvell Reese looks like the freak athlete we drafted with the 5th overall pick. But what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Comment down below. Go Giants and bet the over.